All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into the world of Fernanda Torres, the Brazilian actress who's nominated for an Oscar for I'm Still Here.
Yeah.
But this is more than just an actress in a role, It's
It really is. It's this fascinating blend of personal history and, powerful storytelling that makes this nomination so interesting.
Yeah, and for those maybe not as familiar, Fernanda Torres is the daughter of Fernando Montenegro.
Right. A legend in Brazilian cinema. And the first, Brazilian actress to be nominated for an Oscar.
So we kind of already have this sense of destiny, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. Like it was meant to be. And then the film itself, I'm Still Here, it tells the story of Eunice Paiva, a woman who went through unimaginable hardship during, Brazil's military dictatorship.
It's just incredible. I mean, her husband, a congressman, he disappears. And she faces, torture and interrogation. Then she has to raise 5 children all on her own.
It's remarkable. She perseveres. And not only that, she becomes a human rights lawyer.
It's mind-blowing.
It really speaks to the spirit of women like Paiva. And I think that's what draws people in. Torres herself said that Paiva was, and I'm quoting here, feminine and raised to be the perfect housewife, but also very intelligent. And you see that, that complexity in her performance.
Yeah. She doesn't portray her as this, over-the-top, strong woman.
Right, exactly. It's much more subtle, nuanced, real.
Yeah.
Like that scene in the ice cream parlor. Paiva has just, had this devastating setback.
In her search for her husband.
Right, yeah. You can just imagine what she's feeling, but she's there with her kids trying to, maintain some kind of normalcy for them.
It's such a small moment.
It is, but the way Torres conveys it, it's powerful. You really feel the weight of Paiva's struggle without her, having to overact.
Makes you wonder, were there parallels to Torres's own life? I mean, to grow up with Fernanda Montenegro as your mother.
Oh, absolutely. It must have been incredible, but also a lot to live up to.
Right. And it wasn't like Torres just jumped right into acting.
No. She did other things first. I mean, she became a novelist, a producer, even a newspaper columnist.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like she gathered all these experiences first.
Yeah.
And then brought them to her acting.
And it gives her performances that depth, that richness.
Yeah.
Walter Salles, the director of I'm Still Here, he actually describes Torres as having emotional intelligence, a joy of life, and a constant curiosity. And I think you really see that in her portrayal of Eunice.
Yeah. It's one of those performances that stays with you.
It really is.
And speaking of Torres, finding her own path, there's this really interesting thing. She won Best Actress at Cannes when she was only 20.
Oh, wow. Yeah. For a role totally different from what she'd been doing.
At the time, she was doing a Brazilian soap opera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing, as she put it, the dumb, innocent girl. Not exactly, con material.
Right.
And then she lands this role in Love Me Forever or Never, and bam. On the international stage, winning awards.
It's like she was, destined for greatness, even if she didn't see it then.
And I bet the early success, it gave her the confidence, to forge her own path. She wasn't just, Fernanda Montenegro's daughter anymore. She was Fernanda Torres, the award-winning actress.
It really is amazing when you think about it, how their careers kind of mirror each other. They both won Best Actress at Cannes. They've both, starred in films by Walter Salles.
Yeah.
And now they're both Oscar nominees.
Yeah. It's pretty remarkable.
It is.
Torres has actually said, it's really unbelievable. It's a very similar path with my mother.
Wow. I wonder if it, ever felt like a burden, though. Did she ever feel that pressure to live up to her mother's success?
I mean, I think, anyone in her position probably would, but Torres seems to have navigated it really well and carved out, her own space in acting and beyond.
Right, because she didn't just, do acting. She was a novelist, a producer, a columnist. She did it all.
She did.
Do you think all of that, informs her acting in a way that, maybe someone who's only acted wouldn't have?
I think it's safe to say that her diverse experiences, contribute to the depth she brings to her roles. Remember, Salles talked about her constant curiosity and joy of life. I feel like those qualities, they come through on screen.
It's like that curiosity fuels her ability to really get into a character,
Yeah. It's not just about saying the lines. It's about understanding, human experience. And I think that comes from, living a full life.
Right. Which brings us to something we should address. There was a controversy some years back about Torres wearing blackface in a sketch comedy show.
Yeah, that's important to acknowledge. This was back in 2008, and Torres has apologized. Societal understanding around racial sensitivity has changed a lot since then.
Yeah, it's a reminder that what was okay, even, a decade ago, can be really offensive now. It's a part of this ongoing conversation about comedy and cultural sensitivity and how artists navigate that.
Definitely. And it also highlights the importance of thinking critically, being open to, challenging our own views. We're always learning and growing, right? And we have to be willing to engage in those, tough conversations.
Absolutely. So coming back to I'm Still Here, getting a lot of buzz with the Oscar nom, but beyond that, what makes this film so powerful?
I think at its core, it's a testament to the human spirit to endure and overcome. Eunice Paiva's story, it's about resilience, courage, the fight for justice.
And it feels really timely, too, especially now, considering the political climate in a lot of the world.
Right.
Paiva's story, it resonates because it reminds us that these struggles for justice, dignity, they're still happening all over.
Yeah, and Torres herself has said that she thinks the film's success is because Eunice Paiva's story, it resonates with people, especially in, as she called them, dystopic times. There's something about Paiva's strength, her determination, that speaks to us.
We need that hope,
that
inspiration. So beyond the awards, the critics, what do you think is the lasting impact of, I'm Still Here? What do you hope people take away from it?
I hope viewers see Eunice Paiva's story as a testament to the human spirit. It's a reminder that even when things are bad, there's always hope. And that fighting for justice is always worth it.
It's also a reminder that these stories, they need to be told.
They do.
Paiva's story, it could have been lost.
Yeah.
If not for films like this.
You're right. I'm Still Here. It's a reminder that these stories are important, not just for, history, but for what they teach us now.
So we've talked about Fernanda Torres, her journey, her talents, the impact of I'm Still Here, the legacy of Eunice Paiva. But I want to bring it back to you, the listener. What sticks with you from this story? What stands out to you about Fernanda Torres?
Maybe you're, thinking about following in your parents' footsteps, or maybe, the challenges and rewards of a career with lots of different parts. Or maybe it's the power of resilience that speaks to you. Whatever it is, take a moment to, think about the stories that shape your own life.
Yeah, it's through Torres, Paiva's story can reach everyone.
Right, and I think that's the beauty of art, right? It can transcend boundaries and connect us all.
It really makes you think about, legacy, not just family legacy, like with Torres and her mother, but the legacy, we all leave behind.
Exactly. Eunice Paiva, she left behind a legacy of fighting for justice, human rights. And Fernanda Torres is continuing that in her own way through her art, by sharing Paiva's story.
And sometimes it's not about these big gestures, It's the smaller acts of courage, like that ice cream parlor scene. Even with all that loss, Eunice Paiva, she still found a way to be there for her kids, to keep going.
Yeah, that scene really, it stuck with me. It reminds you that even when things are dark, you can choose to, focus on the good, find joy, be strong for other people.
So we've talked about Fernanda Torres, her amazing journey, her many talents. We've talked about the impact of I'm Still Here, and the incredible legacy of Eunice Paiva. As we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you hope our listener takes away from all of this?
I hope they're inspired by both Eunice Paiva and Fernanda Torres. Two women, different generations, different challenges, but both, full of strength and resilience.
It's a good reminder that we all have a voice, and our stories matter.
Yeah. Even if you think your voice is small, don't underestimate it. You never know who you might touch, whose life you might change.
So, if you haven't already, we really recommend checking out I'm Still Here. Let Eunice Paiva's story, move you. Let Fernanda Torres' performance inspire you. And let it all get you thinking, about resilience, legacy, and the power of storytelling in your own life.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep into the stories that shape our world.